Man. You know, and then there's always the thought that I could have been here too. Why wasn't I? I could have been here too.
At age 5, Clyde Stevens had been sent away to live in California because his father in Wichita was disabled and could no longer care for him. It wasn't until recently that Stevens learned about this plane crash back in 1965 that killed his dad.
The only way I can see it is it was God. Because out of all the years that I've been on the face of this earth, this particular day I woke up and something said, call the institution that you first went to in California and ask the director if he has any paperwork pertaining to you when you stayed there about any of your history. And when I got the paperwork, that's when I found out that he was killed by a C-135 Air Force tanker plane.
Stevens has returned to Wichita to reconnect with his roots and visit the scene of the disaster.
This is the last place my father was alive. By being here, it makes me feel a lot closer.
He's trying to make up for lost time, though realizing the damage was done long ago when Raggy 42 tore a path of destruction through his dad's neighborhood.
Straight down through here. You just picture a trail of fire.
Stevens' father was a roomer at the same house where Victor Daniels' family lived and died.
Yeah, this is it. Okay, this is Tracy Randall, Claude Daniels, and Mary Daniels. I used to come out here as a kid, sit out here and get drunk or cry or whatever I did. We had one funeral that day for all three of them. It was a very solemn day. The funeral was up at Tabernacle Baptist Church at that time.
Some lives ended, others were changed forever. Daniels finds himself asking, what if that jet wouldn't have crashed 50 years ago?
I've always thought, well, would I turned out to be an alcoholic if my grandmother would have had some input on how I grew up? Never knew, you know, but I can't hold that against anybody. All I want is people to know that folks lost their life over there at that plane crash site. Not just the residents, but people on the airplane. And we should honor that, you know.
And such honors come in different forms as ways of preserving memories that are painful. Nevertheless, those who lived through the disaster don't want it forgotten.
Could have been me. This whole street was on fire.
Remnants of the crash still show up from time to time in the park where houses once sat. Daryl Woodard recently found what he believes is a piece of the plane. He has painted the torn piece of metal and made it into a keychain. Just last year, Woodard also found this corroded 1964 nickel on the ground that was once soaked with jet fuel and consumed with fire in 1965.
I can't even believe it's 50 years, because it seemed like yesterday.